Good morning. Today's Wednesday, February 26th. We're in the lesson quarterly, God's Love and Justice. Today's lesson is called If You Worship Me. Me being God, not me. Satan's quest to usurp God's throne is also revealed in the temptation narratives found in Matthew 4 and Luke 4. In the striking encounter between Jesus and the tempter, much is revealed about the nature of the conflict. Here we see the reality of the great controversy between Christ and Satan, but played out in stark graphic terms. Read Matthew 4, 1-11. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterwards he was hungry. I always thought that was kind of an odd statement. 40 days and 40 nights, and then you're hungry? I get hungry after 4 hours. Come on. Now then the tempter came to him, and he said, If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him up into the holy city, and set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it's written, He shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. And Jesus said to him, It is written again, You shall not tempt the Lord your God. Again the devil took him up on an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, All these things I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me. And Jesus said to him, Away with you, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. Excuse me. How is the reality of the great controversy between Christ and Satan revealed here? Well, Satan wants to be God. He wants to be in God's place. He wants to have all the glory and all the attention and all the worship, to him. And he's there trying to convince Jesus that he himself is God, belongs in the place. Like he's the one that should be worshipped. And Jesus is like, yeah, I'm not that hungry. The Spirit had led Jesus into the wilderness for the express purpose that Jesus was to be tempted by the devil, Matthew 4:1. And before facing this encounter, Jesus fasted for 40 days. So when the devil came, he tempted Jesus to turn stones into bread, playing on Jesus' extreme hunger. But Jesus countered this temptation with the scripture, and Satan's ploy failed. Then, in an attempt to get Jesus to act presumptuously, the devil tempted Jesus to throw himself down from the pinnacle of the temple. Satan twisted scripture to suggest that if Jesus were truly the Son of God, angels would protect him. But with the scripture read rightly, Jesus again counters the temptation. The third temptation clearly reveals what the devil is trying to accomplish. He wants Jesus to worship him. Satan attempts to usurp the worship that is due God alone. And to do so, he shows Jesus all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. Then he claims, All these things I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Excuse me. Indeed, in Luke 4:6, a text that parallels Matthew, the devil claims, All this authority I will give you, and their glory. For this has been delivered to me, and I give it to whomever I wish. And that was Luke 4:6. Once again, Jesus counters the temptations with Scripture. And again, Satan fails. In all three cases, Jesus used Scripture to defend against the enemy's attacks. Discussion question. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in their heavenly places. Though we shouldn't live in fear, why must we always remember the reality of the struggle going on around us? A lot of times when people aren't living in fear, they live in complacency, and complacency is a very dangerous place to be, because then it's a comfort zone, and breaking out of it is the thing that you need to do. Comfort zones are where death occurs, spiritual death, really, and you can't have that. You have to have an active worship life. Anyway, all right, well, thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.